Ladies and gentlemen, live from Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977 is Wednesday or Saturday, and you know what that means. It's time for AEW Dynamite or Collision Event Center. And now here's the man that will bring you the happenings of AEW All Elite Wrestling action, Mr. Eric M. Lima. Thank you very much, Mr. Announcer, sir. Well, hello there, everyone. Welcome to yet another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977, episode number 2504 of the show. We're going to talk about AEW Collision in just a few moments. I'm just going to square a few things. As you know, upcoming tomorrow, it will be two videos I'm going to do tomorrow. One will be the Clash in Paris Event Center. And then afterwards, I'm going to do my Shenanigans statements as a statesman every single end of the month. My thoughts on August. There's going to be a lot I want to talk about, and what's going to be upcoming. A lot of stuff upcoming as well in September. You may want to hear what I have to say about August, ladies and gentlemen. And I think most of y'all know how I feel, and there's going to be some stuff that is going to be on my mind. And I think y'all know and understand. So I'm so glad this month's about over. I mean, it's ridiculous. Anyways, let's talk about this month. Let's talk about what let's talk about this month, shall we? And we'll do that right now. Let's talk about AEW Collision. Excuse me. Consider this AEW Collision the fallout from Death Before Dishonor last night on Ring of Honor, because AEW and Ring of Honor are working together, and they're under the same banner. So just like the 411 is and what the deal is and all that good stuff. So so I think that, hey, we're going to have some fun. We're going to do our thing. And just, yeah. All right. You know what I mean? So I'll be able to talk about what I want to, some upcoming projects afterwards. Let's start with Daniel Garcia versus Blake Christian, the Vanilla Baby. Blake Christian, who once dated Cora Jade, a.k.a. Elena Black. No wonder why he's acting like a jerk in AEW. Anyways, Daniel Garcia now, who's accompanied by Matt Menard, Daddy Magic. Matt Menard, I like him and Angelo Parker, the former Ever Rise guys, the 2.0. They got a lot of personality, charisma. They like, they're funny dudes. You want to taste, and all that, And Angelo Parker, got to hand it to him. He married Ruby Riott, and they had a baby, and it was really cool, but hey, Daniel Garcia has been a friend of Matt Menard for a long time, and Matt Menard was joining on commentary, and then John Moxley, before the match started, John Moxley and Maria Shafir came out, and John Moxley was whispering something into Daniel Garcia's. I was like, dude, I'm in a match, get out of my face. And so they had their matchup. And winning the matchup was Daniel Garcia. Daniel Garcia, then Tony Schiavone interviewed him, what did John Moxley say to you? He says, enough of that. I've had enough. John Moxley, you and I, one-on-one next week. So, then Wheeler Yuta, the crack-headed Quantum Ranger. The Quantum Ranger without the helmet, demorphed, Daniel Southworth, who played Eric Myers, the Quantum Ranger in Time Force. I call Wheeler Yuta the crack-headed version of the Quantum Ranger because the Quantum Ranger back in the day had short hair, shaved, and all that. Wheeler Yuta looks like the Shaggy dog. We should call him Shaggy. If he puts his hair down a little bit more, he will like Cousin It from the Addams Family. And he responds to Garcia that Death Riders accept your challenge and all that. I would have said, hey, listen, crackhead Quantum Ranger, get back into the ring so I can kick your butt or something like that. If I wanted to face Wheeler Yuta in a matchup, I would be, listen, dude, if you lose, I'm putting you out with using ether, and then put you in a barber's chair, shave your head, shave your beard, so you look like one of those Shaolin monks. Whoa! You know what I mean? Come on. We are Yuta, seriously. Anyways, can't stand the guy. Anyways, Lexi Nair interviewed Hologram, Tomohiro Ishii, and Paragon, and it seems like Roderick Strong is not liking the fact that Kyle O'Reilly is associating himself with Hologram and Hologram and Tomohiro Ishii, the conglomeration, which is started by Mark Briscoe, by the way. So, Roderick Strong needs to have some little bit of fun and relax, dude. Listen, Adam Cole's not going to wrestle for a while, dude. So I don't know what the heck you're thinking. Meanwhile, Kyle O'Reilly and Tomohiro Ishii went in a matchup against Kyle Fletcher and Jason Alexander. Don Callis joined on commentary. You know what Kyle Fletcher called Don Callis? You know, he called Don Callis Don Phallus. If you don't know what a phallus is, look it up. I'm gonna look it up myself. Oh my God, I can't stop laughing at this. Kyle O'Reilly cracks me up with this. So anyways, I said he looked like a hot dog head. He more like a wiener dog. Like a wiener head. You know, pecker head. Oh my gosh. Anyways. Excuse me. Man. I gotta admit, that was one of the funniest things I ever heard. Oh my goodness. Anyways. Don Callis joins on commentary. Runs his mouth as usual. But in the end, Kyle Fletcher and Josh Alexander ended up winning the matchup. And then in the back, Jamie Hayter was brawling with Tekla. It seems like Jamie Hayter has not forgotten what Tekla did to her, and these two were beating the crap out of each other. Referees and security tried to break it up, and these ladies are gone nuts. Like, oh boy. And Kip Sabian was talking to Shayna Wayne about Kill Switch. Kill Switch confronts Sabian and Shayna Wayne. And Shayna Wayne tells Kip Sabian, take a walk. And then Shayna Wayne just glares at him, and Kill Switch was like, okay. That's my phone. Well, Hologram went one-on-one with Jay Lethal, a man who has done everything in Ring of Honor and tried to do everything in AEW. Hologram wins the matchup, but then the lights glitch on and off, and then there's like this algorithm on the computer. It said access granted soon. Is there an evil version of Hologram that we don't even know about? Maybe that's because the figure looks like it's an evil version of Hologram. Question is, who is it? Is it algorithm? Or is Hologram undergoing a personality change? Because when Hologram was walking around, is it some kind of virus, so to speak, a virus gimmick? Is it an evil version of Hologram? Are we doing that? I don't know. So Hologram better watch his back. Maybe it's someone that knows him very, very well, and since Hologram technically is still undefeated in singles competition, maybe this person might challenge him and beat him. And Ricochet addressing the Hurt Syndicate and then the MVP response, we found out that MVP was unable to travel to London, and Ricochet had that plan so they can attack, so all three of them can attack the Hurt Syndicate. Yeah, real slick, Ricochet, you jerk. Yeah, you and Ricochet laughing like Raj. Aha! And you got Bishop Khan could be Dwayne, and Tony Leone could be Rerun. What's happening? So, anyways, rest in peace, Danielle Spencer, by the way. Alex Wenza went up against Ashley Vox. I think she follows me on X, I do believe. And heck of a match with these two ladies, and Windsor ends up picking up the victory. Tony Schiavone interviewed Windsor about what Mercedes Moné said about her, and then Windsor says, you just made it personal when you mentioned my husband, and guess what? So one day I will challenge you for the TBS title and beat you for it. And then Lexi Nair interviewed Don Callis and Mark Briscoe. Mark Briscoe says, I want a shot at the title. What do you say? Well, we're busy right now. Well, Kyle Fletcher's got an 8-man tag match coming up. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'll choose one of my guys, and if you beat one of my guys, you may get a shot. I believe Lance Archer could be the chosen one right there, or Hechicero. So you got two tough guys right there, so he's got his pick. Tag action, J.D. Drake and Adam Priest took on FTR. FTR winning the matchup. And no Stokely Hathaway, thank God. And FTR addressed the Philadelphia crowd about Copeland and Cage, and they set Copeland and Cage, and the two of them to say they had it at All Out. It ends in Toronto. And Sammy Guevara addressing joining the LFI, and if that's the case, that's a fine get for Los Facción Ingobernables. But is the Beast Mortos out? That's the question. Or is the Beast Mortal still in? But Sammy Guevara became the fourth member of LFI. And then they did Harley Cameron did a commercial for I Drink, the promo, the new energy drink type deal that that Harley's been doing. And then Lexi Nair interviewed Don Callis and Fletcher and Alexander, and then Josh Alexander wants to get his hands on Kenny Omega. I think he's been wanting this since Kenny Omega became TNA champ over there and all that good stuff. So was TNA champ at the time, was a few years ago. So I think Alexander wants to get his hands on him. Juice Robinson took on Big Bill one-on-one, and Big Bill ended up picking up the victory in that matchup. Skyflight addresses winning, and they were laughing and joking. And Dante Martin said, hey, Shane Taylor Promotions on the new Ring of Honor 6-man tag team titles. We want them. We need to get serious on that. And Layla Gray was counting her money that was given to her by Christopher Daniels, but Christopher Daniels takes like a bill back. I don't know why. Did you lose a bet or something? I don't know. Well, Gabe Kidd issued a challenge for next week. I don't know what challenge Gabe Kidd is issued, but we'll find out for sure what his story is. Will it be on Dynamite? Who knows? Well, the main event, the All-Star Trios matchup, on the women's side. Billy Starks takes on teams up with two members of the Triangle Madness, Julia Hart, the former TBS champ, and Sky Blue, going up against Queen Amanada, the lovely, gorgeous, and the interim Ring of Honor women's television champ, Mina Shirakawa, and the gorgeous, curvaceous, babylicious, and the timeless AEW Women's World Champion, timeless Toni Storm. The three of Storm, Amanada, and Shirakawa worked well together as a team. They pick up the victory in a great matchup. But then in Triangle Madness, and then Tekla attacks Mina Shirakawa, renewing their rivalry from Stardom. And now the Triangle Madness brutally attacks all three and ends up standing tall. Julia Hart suffered a broken nose, so who knows what will happen. Will Tekla be the next challenger for Timeless Toni Storm? Hey, Timeless Toni Storm's been on quite the run. Who knows when that run will end as a 4-time AEW Women's World Champion. Well, that is it for today's episode of the show, the AEW Collision Event Center for August 30th, 2025. I know Chillin' and Jordy's going on right now. Like I said, tomorrow we got the Clash in Paris Event Center and my Shenanigans Statements of the Statesman for August 2025. So I got a lot to say on that matter. And also, I'll be working on a project. Like I said, here's one of the projects I'll be working on. I'll be elaborating more tomorrow on my Shenanigans. I'm doing a re-overhaul of the rosters for the Big League Slugger baseball rosters for the PlayStation 1, because my boy Anthony Hardy took my concept and made it his own, which is great. I got to go back to that concept of mine and see if I can, because I'm going to do an overhaul. As you know, now he does it a little differently than mine. So he's got the Alpha and the Beta League. I know that was part of the game, but I decided to call mine the Eastern Conference and the Eastern Conference, and then the Western Conference. I figured I'd do that. There's a lot going on. The Eastern Conference will be treated like the American League. Meanwhile, the Western Conference will be like the National League. All right, so I kind of wish they made a new one where the DH is universal on both leagues or something like that. I don't know if they had to do that and all that. I don't know if there's any games similar to Big League Slugger baseball out there. I want a game like that. So, so that's all the time that we have on this episode of the show. Thank you for tuning in. So I will see you guys later tomorrow. Like I said, final PLE on Peacock with WWE as far as Raw and SmackDown rosters, because I think NXT they're going to continue on in Peacock. So the WWE has a little bit of partnership there. So I thought they were going to start next year with that, but that's okay. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you on the next episode of the show. So until the next episode comes rolling around, Mr. Announcer, take us home. That is all for today's episode of the show. This is Mr. Announcer speaking for Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. A Big Beefy E and door for Bob Saget production, and in association with a Raving Bull for 3000 Telepictures and Distribution. Thank you for watching another episode of Eric Lima Shenanigans of 1977. See you later on the next episode of the show. Goodbye for now.